Good morning, everyone. I saw a question on a dental forum coming from a dentist about a patient, and I thought I would record a video to answer that question. But what I will do is I will leave you with a better view. I thought this view might be easier for my morning walk to share it with you guys. So just a context, my name is Khaled. I'm a dentist for 20 years now, mainly in private practice. And currently I own and run a practice, probably close to 40 beautiful team members of dentists, OHTs, front office staff, managers, and dental assistants. Just to give you a context before I answer the question. So the question asked by the lovely dentist was, it's a really good question as well, is they had a patient today that's requiring some treatment, and it took them 1 hour to get sedated on nitrous or get sedation on nitrous. And during this hour, the patient was complaining about or talking about there's some problems in their family with his daughter and granddaughter and in-laws, a lot of medical problems. When the dentist asked the patient about their Christmas and New Year and holiday, the dentist felt very drained and tired at the end of the appointment, as the patient was crying hysterically. And the dentist was mentioning how, some patients always say, I hate dentists, I don't want to be here. They complain about the drill noise and vibration. They complain about the clean, sensitive. They complain about paying for the treatment and paying the gap over the health fund. Look, from practicing now nearly 20 years, you will get patients who will complain and whinge about many things. It's probably that's luckily they are not the majority. They are the minority. But if 80% of your patients are like that, then there is something that you're doing is not right. But if it's only a small percentage of your patients like that, that's normal. And you need to understand that's completely normal. And as you grow into your career, you will find ways to manage that. So answering the question, so how would I deal with nitrous differently? And that's how I was trained before. If I'm administering nitrous, let's say you're doing a crown prep or a filling or a root canal treatment, I would tell the patient, I'm gonna put this mask on your nose and I want you to breathe in deeply from your nose, and I'm gonna be monitoring and watching your breathing as you breathe for at least 5 minutes. But I want your lips sealed. We can't talk. I don't want to talk for the next 5 minutes, and if you talk, I will try to alert you not to speak much, because if you start talking, all the nitrous will start to exit from your mouth, and it's not going to be effective, and it's also going to affect us in the room as well. So I want you to breathe deeply from the nose in and deeply out. Now, during these 5 minutes, while you're starting, let's say it's a new patient, you don't know what's their level, are they on 20% or 30%, and you're gonna start, let's say, on 20%. First, you don't want to tell them it's sedation, because they're not going to be sedated. If you get to sedation level, it's quite dangerous. So with nitrous, you just want them in a very relaxed state, but they're not going to be sedated. You have two options to do on those 5 minutes. If you're well trained on that, and you can easily download some scripts online and study them really well and practice them and change your tone as you deliver them, you can do like a hypnotherapy. So you can go through those 5 minutes. Look, I want you to close your eyes, listen to my voice, imagine yourself lying down on the beach. There's a lot of different scripts you can practice, and that is the best thing you can do. But if you're not comfortable doing that yet, just monitor their breathing, write your notes for this procedure, prepare for any steps that you need to do for your procedure. Look at your next patient, check your appointment book, keep your eyes on their breathing bag, keep their eyes in the time as well. Then check with them in 5 minutes. How are you feeling? Do you think you're in a state where I can start working? Especially if you don't know their percentage. So you say, yeah, I'm comfortable, then go for it. Don't ask them if they're numb in the fingers or they feel light or heavy. Just ask them, is it okay to work on you or not yet? If it's not okay, you can increase 5% and then another 5% until you get to the level that's working for them. If it's a new patient, there are patients where nitrous, it's not going to do any changes for them at all, and it's not going to work for them. And some extremely phobic patients will require eventually intravenous sedation or some more controlled sedation. But that's what I would do with my nitrous. I wouldn't call it sedation to the patient. I wouldn't raise their expectations that they're going to be sedated. And also, I'm not probably going to talk to them while the nitrous is administered unless I'm doing hypnotherapy on them, which I recommend doing. In questions regarding when you ask patients, how's your holiday, and they start whinging, thank goodness that The majority will not do that. Most patients will not share very special or private details with you, especially if it makes them sad. Most people say, okay, yeah, it was fine, and they will keep it to themselves. But I have few patients who are like that. And whatever happens, they always find every problem they're going through in their life and they share it with you. And that's their type of personality. And those patients, I still want to treat them, I still like them, I still enjoy their company. And I know they're gonna be, like, they will drain your energy a little bit. So what I will do in those cases, I always allow extra time when I book them. If it's not an emergency appointment, I allow extra time because I know they're gonna be at least 10 or 15 minutes going when they go through everything negative in their life first, and they might have a bit of cry. And I don't talk too much, I just listen and nod, support them with my body language, and maybe add 1 or 2 comments. I'm really sorry they're going through that, you know, I hope things get better. And keep it simple. I don't ask any open-ended questions. I don't click down on this much more unless it's medically or dentally related to my treatment. I just let them get it out of their system. I allow extra time in my appointment book, and you know, if you even want to be smarter about it, you can always book them at a time where you can look after yourself after the appointment. So whether it's the end of the day or before lunchtime, treat yourself with something nice. Get your team involved. Explain to them, this patient will drain my energy a little bit. They like to share a lot of negative things. They might cry a bit. You know, just I want to prepare you for that as well. Because remember, you have a dental assistant in the front office that might be affected by this patient as well. And if they all with you, hey, you know, we're gonna help her, we're gonna support it, or we can help them, we're gonna support this patient, and after that we can, you know, we can buy a nice lunch, we can do something together, just to de-stress together. Get your team involved. You're working as a team. Don't keep it to yourself. And understand how to deal with those patients. And luckily, they are not the majority, as I mentioned before, they are the minority. But if you're a majority of patients like that, again, there is probably some things happening, how you ask questions about the patient, and how you get too much into their personal problems and trying to understand it and trying to be a therapist, which we are not trained to be therapists for them. The last thing in this message or this forum post was about, you know, patient complaining about the drill noise, the sensitive clean, the payments, and so on. Again, with payments, luckily they are not the majority. And if they are the majority, it's usually patients are not coded accordingly. You're in a very, very low socioeconomic area. Although I'm not in a high socioeconomic area, and I don't get these problems a lot. Probably it's a problem with expectation or quotation. If the patient is poorly coded or not, or they don't feel they're getting enough value for treatment. But you'll get the whingers, but luckily they're not the majority. In terms of like the drill noise, and if you're removing like decay with a slow speed, and you know it's going to cause a lot of vibration, or giving a nerve block, that's another example. What I do myself, or what I've been doing all my career, is the following. Let's say I'm going to remove the decay. I'll tell them, here, look, the next step is going to be very, very unpleasant. I prepare them for the extreme worst. You're going to feel a lot of vibration. You're going to feel your head just vibrating everywhere. It's really horrible noise you're going to hear for the next 2 or 3 minutes. You know, please forgive me for that. It's not me. It is, I have to use a certain tools that's very safe to remove decay close to the nerve, blah, blah, blah. So I'm really sorry. It's just going to be horrible for you in the next 5 minutes. You're going to probably hate me. You're going to hate even being here. I prepare them for the absolute worst. And then after I finish, like, wow, they always say, oh, wasn't that bad? You know, it made it sound really bad. Well, it was okay. Same with the block. I said, you know, I gave you anesthetic before, you never felt a thing. Now I have to numb the whole bottom jaw for this procedure. It's just the nature of this procedure. I have to numb the whole jaw. And when I'm doing that, I have to go really a bit deeper into the jaw there. Look, you might feel this one. It might be very, very unpleasant. Probably one of the most unpleasant things that you feel on my chair here. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna apologize to you in advance. It is the nature of the procedure. It's not me. It's just the way it is. And it's just gonna be a horrible feeling you might feel. You might feel some like an electric feeling in your jaw. So please forgive me for that. To make it easier, I wanted to open up really wide, take a deep breath in, and breathe out. So as they breathe out, that's when you inject or enter the needle and get your DH to distract them by tapping the shoulder at the same time. So the mind is focusing on breathing out, and focusing on the tapping, and hopefully they won't feel the needle going into the jaw. If you prepare them, it's going to be the worst thing ever that will happen to them. Again, you will finish the block, and 99% of patients will say, oh, it wasn't that bad. You know, you made it sound like a big deal. It was actually okay. But if we are trained to reassure patients too much, and that's a problem. If you tell them, you know, you won't feel a thing today, you know, removing the decay and putting a filling, it will be fine. And you start putting the slow speed handpiece, they will jump. They won't be happy. Tell them, I'll give you a block. Don't worry, you won't feel a thing. It will be fine. Again, you put the block in, and they feel it. They're not gonna be happy with you. So we are trained to reassure too much, and I think we need to really under-promise and over-deliver, and prepare them for the worst ever. And I do this with extractions, with any procedures. When you go home, you're gonna feel a lot of pain today. I'm very sorry. That's the nature of dental extractions for the next 3 days. So just take your medications, and I'm there for you. If the pain gets worse and it's the second or third day, just give me a call. I will look after you. Again, most extractions, you go home, they're waiting for the absolute extreme pain. It doesn't come, you look like a hero, and they're happier. They're more reassured. You're giving them extra value and doing a great service for them. Dentistry gets easier as you grow in your career. 20 years in, as I'm selective with the procedure I'm doing now, but I probably did like 40 years of dentistry in 20 years, and it gets easier, and you get to understand patterns in your appointment book, patterns in patients' behavior, and you tend to work around those patterns and change your ways, and hopefully it will get enjoyable for you as well. Thank you so much for listening to the long video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or comment below.